Hello, sweet yogis. Welcome to your yin practice today. My name's Julianne Arce, and I will be guiding you through a delicious yin sequence for your hips. If you have any props that you want to use, make sure you have those by your mat, maybe a bolster, some blocks. If you don't have those available, no worries. I'll guide you to go through the practice without any props as well. Let's go ahead and begin in child's pose. To come into child's pose, sit your hips onto your heels, let your big toes touch. You can begin your practice by, any one of the child's pose variations. Any version of the posture is welcome here. If you're ready to dig in deep, just take your knees wider, perhaps taking your knees to the outer edges of your mat. And to keep things more gentle on your hips, you can have your knees closer together. Good. Now allow your spine to elongate, forehead, tip of your nose, or onto your mat. Let the weight of your head just rest down onto the earth or onto a prop. You can place a block underneath of your forehead if you like. Begin to take this time to breathe and to connect. I invite you to set a dedication or an intention for this practice. An intention, anything your imagination comes up with, hopefully something in the positive sense. I am love. Love flows through me and to me. Once you've established your attention, state it 3 times in your own mind as though it's present truth. You have arrived. During this practice today, there'll be long periods of silence. I'll always be here guiding you to move in and out of the poses. If at any time you feel more than sensation, you feel pain, I encourage you to ease out of the posture some. Maybe even coming back into child's pose or shavasana, lying flat down onto your mat. Welcome sensation. But if pain occurs, once again, I encourage you to come out. You should never feel pain within your practice. And take 3 more full deep breaths in your child's pose. And be completely in the present. And feeling your mat. And feeling your breath. Rise up into tabletop. And stack your hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees come directly underneath of the hips. Getting ready for our second posture, frog pose. And just allow the tension from your child's pose to melt away as you're in tabletop. And perhaps taking a few cat and cows or barrel rolls. And breathe and move in any way that will help you to work out the tension from child's pose. Good. Come back into a neutral tabletop. Your neutral tabletop, transition into child's pose. And begin to walk your knees and your feet to the outer edges of your mat. And perhaps they come off the mat and you want to take your posture a long ways. Allow your hips to settle down towards the earth for frog pose. You can place a bolster underneath of your torso if you like, giving you more support, more ease. As you come into this posture, it's all about the ankles. Flex your toes in towards your knees and have a 90-degree angle within the legs. This pose can be really difficult. If it's too much for today, you can come back into a wide-legged child's pose. You could also stay lifted up onto your hands or lower down onto your forearms or the bolster, eventually making your way down onto your belly. And just make sure wherever you land, you're able to stay here for a few minutes without being tense. If you find yourself fighting this pose, I encourage you to ease out some or just step out of it and find a place where you can allow your mind and body to breathe. If you're feeling sensation, breathe into the sensation. If you're feeling pain, come out. You're almost there. Take a few more intentional breaths before we begin the transition out of frog. To transition out of this pose, come forward onto your belly. Bring your knees as close together as you can, and then push your hips back onto your heels and come into a seated position. And take a few minutes here just in this seated position, feeling the rebound, the effects of your frog pose. Make your way into tabletop. And from tabletop, we'll transition into shoelace. For shoelace, bring your right knee behind your left. As your right knee comes behind your left, sit your hips back towards your heels, sitting your hips between the two heels. Left leg is on top. As you come into your shoelace pose, and if you find that both hips don't settle down into the ground, you can always extend your bottom leg, your right leg, out in front of you. To get more sensation within this pose, begin to hinge forward. Don't worry too much about stacking the knees. You're always welcome to let those imperfections in. And this is how we practice compassion on our mats. Notice your mind begins to drift to outside thoughts, outside things. Perhaps reconnect with your breath, or reconnect with the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. Repeating that intention, that mantra in your own mind. Shoelace, and allow your next inhale to bring you up. If you're hinging forward, just rising up back into the seated position. Transitioning directly into our next pose, which is Sleeping Swan, also known as Pigeon in our more active practices. To come into this posture, swing your left leg back behind you. You'll take this opportunity to square off through your hips. Perhaps you tuck your toes of your left foot under, lift your left knee up, and then release your left knee back down, release the top of your left foot down. You can do that a few more times if you like. It'll help to align your hips and allow you to settle deeper into this posture. I invite you to stay up as long as you need to. If you want to keep some weight into your hands, you can do that. And check in with your right knee. If you're feeling any pain or pressure on the right knee, you can always bring the right heel closer into the groin. You could also do your sleeping pigeon on your back to take pressure off of your knee as well. If you're looking for more sensation, a new shape, begin to fold forward towards the earth. As you come into your sleeping swan, you can place your forehead onto your forearms, you can stack your fists, or even placing your forehead all the way down onto your mat. Find a place where you can settle with ease into the pose. We're coming into our last 30 seconds here. If your thoughts drifted to outside thoughts, or just drifted, bring your mind back into the space, back into your body. Having full awareness of your body. Begin to place your hands under your shoulders and slowly begin to rise up. As you rise up, put the weight into your right hip, your right glute, and now swing your left leg forward, preparing for fire log. Begin to stack your left leg on top of your right, flexing the toes of both feet in towards the knees. For fire log, notice if you need any props, perhaps a block between your left knee and your left ankle. If you're feeling a lot of sensation, stay more upright. If your body needs more sensation, you can begin to hinge into the posture, placing your torso more over your lap. Always pause as you feel sensation rise. And take several moments to breathe and to connect. Your halfway point. If you're feeling lots of sensations, send breath into the sensation. And the point where you feel tension, send the breath there. Maybe send some light, some beautiful white light into the area of tension. Take 2 more full deep breaths in your fire. And after that last breath, go ahead and ease out of the posture. Take your time. There's no need to rush as you come out of these. Ease out with grace, with compassion for your body. You can make your way into a tabletop position. As you come into tabletop, once again, just cycle through whatever your body is craving. Perhaps that's a few cat and cows or barrel rolls. We'll use this as the start point for our second side, coming into these same 3 postures onto the second side. Make our way into our shoelace posture. For shoelace on this side, we want to have the right leg on top. And that means bring your left knee behind your right. Separate your feet towards the outer edges of the mat, enough room for your glutes to come down in between. There's a few ways that you can do this posture. You can extend your right leg out in front of you. You could also work on stacking your hips, but don't worry too much about stacking the knees. You're always welcome to just let those imperfections in. So if the knees don't perfectly stack, it's okay. We're creating space within the body today, not trying to get the body into a perfect shape. Practice love, practice ahimsa, your compassion for yourself, kindness for yourself. And check in with your spine and see if your spine is long. With a long spine, if you're craving that sensation, you're craving more spice within your body, begin to fold forward, ease forward some, coming into a place that's appropriate for you. You're almost there, yogis. If you're in a fold, let your next inhale bring you up. And prepare for your sleeping swan, for your swan pose. Swing your right leg back behind you. Swan is very similar to pigeon. You may know it as pigeon from the more active practices. In yin, we call it swan and sleeping swan. Extend your right leg long behind you. No sickled toes, rather having the right leg in alignment with your right hip. We want the left knee towards the outer edge. And over time, you can work on getting your shin more parallel across the top of the mat. But for today, just nurture your knee if you're feeling pain or pressure in your left knee. Either bring your heel closer back towards your groin or come into pigeon on your back. Allow yourself to take several breaths here in the upright position before you make your way into sleeping swan. To come into sleeping swan, elongate through your spine and then hinge at your hips and fold forward. Allow yourself to surrender, to melt down towards the earth. As you come into your sleeping swan, notice if there's any place you're holding tension. If you're holding tension through your scalp, allow it to ease. Let your teeth naturally separate, releasing tension out of your jaw. Allow your shoulders to melt. And take a big breath into your whole body, bringing more oxygen, more prana, more life force. And as you exhale, surrender deeper into the pose, into the ground. No muscular effort. No need to hold the belly in. And let your belly release. Taking full, complete exhales, letting go of all the stagnant energy, carbon dioxide. We exhale completely. We can bring more into the body, more oxygen, more prana, more life force. The swans, we're here for just a few more breaths. Allow your awareness to come back to your body. Bring your hands underneath of your shoulders and slowly begin to rise up. As you rise up, place your weight into your left hip and allow for your right leg to swing forward. Bring your left shin parallel across the top of your mat and flex your toes in towards your knee. Allow for your right leg to come and stack on top of your right leg stacks on top of your left. Take care of your knees by flexing your toes in. You can also place a block or a pillow, a blanket between your right knee and your left ankle for more support. As you come into your fire log position, see if there's an imbalance between your hips. Maybe there's more space or less space between your knee and your ankle on this side than there was on the first. I'm not judging, just taking notice. The beautiful thing about doing your practice at home is if you notice an imbalance, you can always work that side that's less flexible for a little bit longer, creating balance within the body. As we take our last few breaths here, just pause and feel the sensations. And connect with your breath and connect with the sensations. Slowly begin to release out to make your way into tabletop position. As you come into your tabletop, stack your hands directly underneath of your shoulders, knees come underneath of your hips. And place the weight into your hands, spread your fingers really wide. I invite you to come into downward facing dog. As you come into downward facing dog, pedal out your feet, bend your knees left and right, left and right. Find stillness. Now step your right foot to your right thumb, and coming into a low lunge or our dragon pose or a baby dragon. You can allow for your left knee to come down onto the ground, onto the earth. Allow for your hands to frame your front foot. And your hips to settle in. Notice if your spine is rounding or you're creating tension through your shoulders. You can pull your shoulders back and down and elongate through your spine. We'll transition together into dragon flying high. Heel toe your right foot a little bit further over towards the right edge of your mat, enough that your hands can come directly underneath of your shoulders, creating a little bit more space for the upper body to come to the inside of your right thigh. Once again, just elongate through your spine. And a couple of options here if you're craving more spice. You can always lower down onto your forearms. If you lower down onto your forearms, just check in and make sure that your hips don't shift to the right or to the left. Want to keep good alignment, always choosing alignment over depth. And focusing more on how it feels. If you're feeling it, then you're, creating that space within your body. Finding Goldilocks position, not where we're in pain and not where there's no sensation. Goldilocks, right at our edge. With each breath, for your body to settle closer down into the ground towards the earth. You can always place a bolster or a block underneath of your forearms to create less pressure, allowing the ground to rise up to meet you. As we come into our last 2 minutes of dragon, I invite you to take any variation that's, just feels is calling to you. You can stay right here where you're at. You can also find a winged dragon. To come into a winged dragon, open the sole of your right foot towards the left side of your mat. Allow for your right knee to fall closer down towards the earth. Good. From here, a couple more options. You can bring your hands closer over towards the left and root down through your left hand. Bring your right hand to your right knee. And gaze comes up and over your right shoulder here. If there's something within your practice, maybe a twist or a bind that I didn't speak to, feel free to come into that as we move into our last minute of dragon. Listen carefully and make your way back into center. And as you come into center, hands come under your shoulders. Bring your right knee back to meet your left. Move into tabletop. In tabletop, I invite you to find a child's pose. Have your knees as close together as you can. Sit your hips onto your heels. Breathe into your child's pose. Feel the rebound. Feel the opening that just occurred through your hips. And tuck your toes, send your hips high, come into downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, pedal out your feet, bend your knees left and right, left and right. This helps to realign the hips after these deep hip opening postures. It feels so good. On the second side, step your left foot towards your left thumb now. Move into your dragon. And allow for your hands to frame your left foot. And allow for your hips to settle in and down towards the earth. We'll be right here for 2 minutes. If you notice that there's a lot of sensation and your body is, just screaming at you to come out, your mind is screaming at you to come out, and check in and see if this is truly pain. If it's a sharp shooting pain, then come out. If it's sensation, breathe into that sensation and seeing if you can use, just the calmness of your breath to settle into the pose, allow for that sensation to soften. You're almost there. And now start to walk your left foot towards the outer left edge of your mat, allowing your hands to come directly underneath of your shoulders. Elongate through your spine. Create space for your shoulders. And just feeling your left shoulder tapping onto the inner thigh of your left leg. You can stay right here, or if you did so on the first side, either lower down onto your forearms or your block. And focus more on how it feels than how it looks. Can you use your breath to find a bit of serenity within the pose amidst the discomfort? Transition into your wing dragon. Open the sole of your left foot towards the right side of the room. Allow for your left knee to ease closer down towards the earth. And stay with your chest squared towards the earth. If you take any special variation on that first side, go ahead and move into your variation from here. That might mean bringing the sole of the left foot onto the mat, walking your hands over towards the right, placing your left hand onto your left knee and twisting open. Whatever you did on the first side, do that here. You're almost there. The yogis begin to ease out of the posture. And coming back into your passive child's pose. Knees come close together. Forehead, tip of your nose come down onto your mat. Bring your hands back by your ankles. Allow for your torso to drape across your lap. And breathe into the rebound. And breathing into the balance of the left and right side. Child's pose, slowly begin to rise up. Send your feet out in front of you. Place the soles of your feet onto your mat. Knees come up towards the sky. Scoot your bum closer down towards the earth. Scoot your bum closer down towards your heels and lay all the way flat back and down. Your knees are up, feet are about hip distance apart. You can do one of two things. If you have a bolster or a block, come into a supported bridge pose, placing your bolster or your block underneath of your sacrum. If you don't have props, move into constructive rest. Constructive rest is right where you're at, but allow for your knees to come closer in towards each other, leaning against each other. Find a comfortable position for your hands. And stay here and allow for the front of your hips to gently open and release. Begin to make your way into your final Shavasana. Allow your legs to go long, your heels to touch, your toes to fall open. And have your hands long down beside you, palms up or palms down. And give yourself this time to soak up and receive the space that you created within your practice today. Allow every muscle within your body to relax, every thought to fade away, and surrender into the gravity of this pose. Allow for your breath to come back to its natural pattern. Release tension through your scalp and through your jaw, through your eyes. And send a lightness into your heart. And as you begin to enter into your final Shavasana, take a moment to appreciate what your body just did for you during this yoga practice. Explore your emotions, your feelings, and also your inner voice. And take a deep breath in through your nose, and exhale out through your mouth. And try to explore your higher self. Open your heart and focus on how you really feel. Go ahead and take in another long, deep breath. Longer, deeper exhale. Before going into your final Shavasana, I'll be guiding you through some mantras and some affirmations, some phrases that will help you to focus and also to ground us. Let's begin with something easy today to say. Something useful to really connect to this moment, to connect with this practice. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And say out loud, I am present. And don't be shy. Listen to the sound of your voice and to your commitment coming to life. Again, take in a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth and say, I am present. Feel the power of your words, the vibration of your chest, and clarity taking over all of your body. One more time. And take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Say out loud, I am present. Use your inhale to bring peace and positivity into your body. Use your exhale to release anything that no longer serves you. Perhaps that's negativity, intention, whatever makes you feel uncomfortable. Whatever shows up, every thought, every emotion, be an observer. And breathe into the thoughts, the emotions that arise. Let's take things another level. Using your own voice to soothe out your present emotional mental condition. How do you feel? Perhaps you feel anxious and relaxed, sad, elated, stressed, joyful. Whatever is going on right now, you have the power. You have the power to be the best, higher supporter of yourself. Now create your own mantra. Create a motivating, positive, short phrase or sentence that can help you to get through this moment and what is to come next. Say out loud, I am whatever can help you face a hard time. I am calm. I am okay. I am strong, and so on. Get to know yourself a little bit better and learn how to really soothe your soul. Keep going with your mantra. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Saying out loud your mantra, your affirmation, your phrase. Continue to repeat your mantra as much as you would like until you're satisfied. And bring this mantra with you, on and off the mat. You can use it to soothe your soul and your spirit whenever you need it. And take your time. Have as much time in your final Shavasana as you need. And whenever you're ready, feel free to come out. It's always my honor, my privilege, my pleasure to guide you through your moving meditation, through your yoga practice. Namaste, sweet soul.